I want us to just preview the different leagues, the top 5 leagues, and talk about the Nigerian players that are featuring in those leagues. We'll start from the French League One. According to my counts, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 Nigerian players that could be playing in the French League One this season. We have Gibel Osho of AJ Auxerre. We have George Ilenikena of AS Monaco. We have Moses Simon of Nantes. We have Akko Adams of Montpellier. We have Tere Murphy and Victor Orapo of Nice. We have Gift Orban of Lyon. We have new signing Hamzat Ojediran of RC Lens. And we have Innocent Bonke of FC Lorient. Smith Layi.
Lorient is League 2 now.
Oh yeah, oh yes, L'Oreal got relegated. Oh yeah, that's okay. So I should not be including them there. Okay, so that's 7 players. No, 8 players, not 9. But Smith Layi, based out of the players that we see in the French League One this season, Osho, Ilenikena, Simon, Adams, Murphy, Orakpo, Gift Orban, Ojediran, who are you expecting to shine? This season.
Victor Orapo.
Okay, tell us why.
Victor, he's a guy that I followed him when he was part of the Bayern Munich's system. I think they took them to Germany then, but at the start of this preseason, I saw him play against is he Atayaspor? No, one club from Turkey at the start. He, when he came on, he controlled the game the way he's back to goal, very good, and he's a very young player. So, and I also saw the 30 minutes extra they played against Ipswich Town. Ipswich Town in the Premier League. He also scored in that game too. So, it's a guy that I think that a lot of Nigerians might not know now, but after probably in January, they would know him better. So, Victor Akpo, I expect Gift Orban to do his thing. I expect him to have a better season now. If he's not going to go have a move, if Orban is doing his thing, we'll not be surprised. Even when Simon is doing his thing, we'll not be surprised. I expect Akko Adams to score a couple of goals. I expect Osho to do well. But that guy, Victor Rakpo, is a guy who we have to watch out for. He's very strong in the air. Very strong in the air. Very, very strong in the air.
No, I like that shout. I like the shout that you gave there for Victor Rakpo. Of course, he's a relatively unknown player compared to the other names on that list. But I also believe that he's a good player. He was part of their preseason. The team that you were talking about was when he played against Rizespor, in preseason, and of course he did well against Ipswich as well. It's going to be interesting to see how they use him. Hopefully he's able to get a lot of games. He's only 18 years old, so he's one for the future, really. And it'll be great to see how he performs. I think I'm personally looking to see also Hamzat Ojediran to see how he performs in Lens. It's a big move for him. In only 2 years of being a professional footballer, he's already going to Lens playing in the League One. It's going to be interesting to see how he's able to step up to that level. I'm really hoping that it works out well for him. Lens, of course, I believe are playing in the Europa League, Conference League. So let's see how that goes. Moses Simon, I'm expecting Moses Simon to do what Moses Simon does. He's going to get maybe his 10 goals or 8 goals, 9, 7 assists, something like that. As long as he's able to stay fit. He got injured in the AFCON, of course, and then he has come back from that and played preseason for them. So I'm expecting to see what he's going to do. Akko Adams, I'm hoping and believing that Akko Adams is going to step up on his last season's performance. Remember last season, he started so hot for Montpellier, and then all of a sudden the fire quenched, and it was kind of just a low-key performance for the rest of the season. I'm believing and hoping that he's going to have his confidence back and he's going to be able to be a quality goal scorer for Montpellier this season. Of course, Tere Murphy is injured, so before we see him, it's probably going to be like March, April. It's going to be a long time before Murphy plays, unfortunately. But yeah, and Ilenikena, people are asking if he's wanting to play for Nigeria. The reason I included him here is because since he joined AS Monaco, they've been talking about him and hyping him as a Nigerian player. And a lot of people that know him that are close to the boy says that the boy really has Nigeria in his heart. So I'm believing that Ilenikena, will be a good player for AS Monaco and potentially another option that we have in the attack for the Super Eagles. You want to say something?
I think the guy from Antwerp, what's he called? Is he Victor Udo? He posted something on his Instagram today that now leave me today. George, don't go. So the Nigerian film
Yeah,
contingent, educate, you don't come out. Nobody so talk am. So
yeah.
like we know, and and Victor also spoke with one of our very close allies to journalists that the boy is Nigerian, like Nigerian true by himself. We hope that
Mm.
it's not going to be starting. I won't lie to you. It's going to be Balogun. Probably was ahead of him, but I think that when he gets his opportunity, George will do something.
Mm. And it's funny you mentioned Victor Odo. I was actually chatting with him yesterday,
Mm-hmm.
after everything, and he was telling me, he's like, bro, that he said, that ginger that you just have when you see your brothers in your team, they're all
Mm-hmm.
training with you. This person is pushing hard, so you say if you want to push hard and do
Mm-hmm.
better than him, it was like, I know be waiting all these people tell me, or say they don't abandon me for the club now. But I was just telling him that don't worry, Yusuf, you have talents now. In another 1-2 years, Yusuf
Uh-huh.
will don't come out for here.
Mm-hmm.
He was like, yeah, that he knows, but it's just sad to lose his brothers, and everything, which I
Mm-hmm.
can understand. But yeah,
Yeah.
hopefully Elenikana is able to do well,
Yeah.
and the rest of the Nigerian players. Okay, just one question before we move on to the next league. Which player or which team do we think will have the best season in the French League One this season?
Yes, Monaco.
Hmm.
Yes, Monaco. They signed some very intelligent players. Lamy Camara. I saw them play against Barca yesterday. These are like stars of the team. In fact, because Mbappe less PSG now,
PSG.
I think AS Monaco might even win the league.
Hmm.
I think George Lenigena, and his AS Monaco team can actually be the one to actually do well this season. So I'm also expecting I'm just getting us Arsenal's to actually perform well. They have a couple of very good players there. I saw their game against Southampton. I don't know what it was. No. There was a game they played against. I think it was Leicester City. Yeah, that's a very very decent. So I think they showed Leicester how they play football. So in that game, so you see that, and just to say something, when I'm just getting wrong, when during his unveiling, the president said that. Part of our policies that we're investing in young players, that he's a very good player from the Hungarian league and we expect a lot from him. So
Hmm.
I just think that Arsenal can actually do something, but I think AS Monaco will be the best.
Yes, Monaco will be the best. Okay, okay. I think let me see. If I had to guess who I think would have the best season, I want to go with somebody different. So
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to go with. Let me see. Maybe I would say OGC Nice, or Leon. I'll go with Nice. I'll just go with Nice. Of course, AS Monaco always compete for the title, so
Mm-hmm.
they are an obvious one. But I think Nice have a chance to maybe play in the qualify for the Champions League, or fight for that top spot. Again, like you said, with an Mbappe-less PSG,
Mm-hmm.
other French teams they'll be licking their lips and rubbing
Lives
their
there.
palms,
Yes.
believing that now they finally have a chance. Now they
Yeah.
finally have a chance.
Yeah.
Okay, let us move on to another league. This time the Spanish La Liga. In the Spanish La Liga, we have 5 Nigerian players potentially that are going to be featuring. We have Crisantos Uche of Getafe. We have Chidera Ejuke and Kelechi Ehenacho of Sevilla. We have Sadiq Umar of Real Sociedad, and we have Babatunde Akinshola of Real Valladolid. Again, Uche, another exciting young prospect. We're hoping that he's able to do good things in the few preseason matches that we've seen him play so far. He looks like a player. He looks like a player. But of course, it's going to be very interesting to see how things stack up when the real season starts, and then all the pressure is there, and everything that comes with it. Getafe is not really a team that we typically expect to be one of the challenging sides in La Liga. So of course, it's always difficult playing for a team that maybe half of your matches you're expected to lose. It's never that easy, but it's going to be interesting to see how he performs. Of course, Chidera Ejuke and Kelechi Iheanacho are new signings for Sevilla. Sevilla, who didn't have the best of seasons last year, finished 14th. And this year, they are really trying to see how they can step things up, how they can go back to their glory days, qualify for the Europa League, where we know that they always make themselves seen. Um, Interesting to see how the players do well there. Sadiq Umar, there's an asterisk on this one because Umar might be on his way out of Sociedad, but as of now, nothing has been made official. So he's still a Sociedad player, and he might still be on the squad for their opening game of the season this weekend. And then Babatunde Akinshola for Real Valladolid. Real Valladolid, of course, are back in the La Liga after securing promotion this past season. Last season, I believe he played on loan.
Mhm.
Was it in
In Portugal.
Portugal?
Yeah.
Yes, in Portugal. And now he scored one goal for them in preseason. It seems like they want to keep him as part of their first team squad this season. And I'm really looking forward to seeing what the boy can do. Um, so Smith, who are the players that are exciting you the most amongst our Nigerian contingent in La Liga?
Who I'm going to mention is Uche Santos. It's
Mm,
just a player that I don't know why I'm actually so excited to actually to see his progress. He's a guy that we because of him I watched all Getafe preseason games just to even the one where we say they are shooting the camera from one side where we say we don't see anything. I see they look for a way to actually watch him. What a player the guy is, and if I've been to now I follow them on Facebook. If I've been to their socials too, you can see they call him the Rock. The Rock is
mm,
loved by so many people. He was signing autograph. You can see, Niger, everything. The flavor is now there. About Uche Santos. What a player the boy will actually turn out to be. For me, I just think it's only what can stop him is his character. If he can get that one right, I think he's going to be a very very good player. And
mm,
if he's not playing, he should be patient. Because his time will come. I saw him play against Atletico Madrid. Not perfect game, but I can tell you that it showed games that he's a very good player. So, and my major concern about Santos Uche is that against Southampton, they asked him to go and play striker,
mm,
and he did well. So up front. So I don't know. Yeah, he can play nearly every position. So I just think that the coach should make sure that he's settled in one position, so that not to abuse his talent. I think that he's more comfortable in the midfield, and I think that he's going to benefit Nigeria more in that midfield. So for
mm.
me, I think I do expect Getafe to do well. I think that Uche Santos will be a star player for Nigerian among Nigerian players in Spain.
Hmm. For me, I'll say the two players that I'm most excited to watch have to be Uche Santos because I want to see how he develops. I want to see how he grows. I want
Mm-hmm.
to see how he performs at this level. A lot of players in the past, one of the players that we spoke about before, Kelechi Nwakali, we expected him to do well at this kind of level, but when he came to it, he didn't really perform. So of course, I'm not saying that will happen to Uche,
Uh-huh,
but
uh-huh.
I'm just
They're
saying that
different.
I'm just saying that nothing is guaranteed. That's what I'm saying.
Uh-huh,
Nothing
yeah, yeah.
nothing is guaranteed.
Uh-huh.
But I'm really keen to see how he plays at this level. And then the
Mm-hmm.
other player that I'm interested in really watching is Chidera Ejuke.
Mm-hmm.
Ejuke is a player that you guys know is I like Ejuke. I've been following him since before he came into even Nigerian attention. And
Mm-hmm.
unfortunately, over the past 3 years, moving to Russia and then the war happening, going to Germany and then getting injured, getting relegated, things had not been going too well for him. He played at
Mm-hmm.
Antwerp last season, was able to revive himself a little bit, and then now made this move to Sevilla, where Sevilla are trying to challenge again in the La Liga. So I want to see what kind of impact he can have for Sevilla. I watched a number of their preseason games, and Eduke was quite good. I've said this before that Eduke is the most exciting Nigerian player to watch since JJ Okocha. Just in terms of what he does on the ball, in terms of the tricks, everything like that, and has already been shown it at Sevilla. But now at this high level in La Liga, how do you convert those tricks, the skills into outputs, into goals and assists? Those are things that people will be really looking out for. We want to really see him make an impact on his team's success, drive the team into positive results, drive the team to get victories, drive the team up the table. I believe that this is a chance for Educate to revive himself and get back into Super Eagles contention. So I'm really looking forward to seeing how that turns out for him. But Smith, like, which team or which Nigerian player and his team are you expecting to have the best season in the La
You know,
Liga?
uh, you know, I think I'm just expecting Sevilla to do their usual thing. They are not playing in Europe now for the first time in how many years. So and I think the Sevilla coach, I know him very well. He was part of He was the former coach of Bakabi. So I know his philosophy is a very hard, very pragmatic, coach. So
Mm,
I expect him to get Sevilla back on track and for them to actually finish at least in top six. So I think
mm.
Sevilla should be having the best season among them.
And I mean, I think I would have to go with. I mean, funny enough, I would actually go with Sociedad because Sociedad tends to be a team that
More
competes
stable.
at more stable. They usually end up in top six, top seven of the
Mm-hmm.
league. But again, Sevilla they had a bad last season, and this is an opportunity for them to step it up with the Nigerian boys that they brought into the team.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe they can reach there. In the comments, I see Temi is saying Sevilla. Chinwoke says all eyes on Sevilla and Crisantos. Victor Balogun says Sevilla is my La Liga team, Eduke and Senior Man. Chinwoke says Eduke can be exciting on the wings. I'm really looking forward to his performances. Temi says Eduke and Uche. Um, and then Donna Shine says an injury free Eduke is going to be lit. Yes, I definitely think if he can stay fit, he could have a fine season for Sevilla. Okay, let's move on very quickly. We have three more leagues to take. Now we're going to the Italian Serie A. According to my count, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 Nigerian players that potentially will be featuring in the Italian Serie A. We have Samuel Chukwueze of AC Milan. We have Ademola Lookman of Atalanta. We have Tyrone Ebuehi of Empoli. We have David Ankeye of Genoa. We have Fisayo Dele Bashiru of Lazio. We still have Victor Osimhen of Napoli, even though we don't know what's happening over there. And then we have Maduka Okoye and Isaac Success of Udinese. Chukwueze will be hoping to step it up from what he did last season, hoping
Mm-hmm.
to be able to get more opportunities from the start, hoping to fight his way into the starting 11 of the team. Lookman, we know what Lookman does. Atlanta best player for 2 seasons in a row. Led them to the Europa League last season. Is playing in the Super Cup tomorrow. So we're expecting big things from Arima Lookman again. Empoli, a team that tends to struggle a little bit, but Ebue he has shown to be one of their more solid, more consistent players over there. Ankeye with Genoa, David Ankeye moved from FC Sheriff, in is it Moldova? I believe that's where he moved,
Moreover, yeah.
to Genoa. And we'll be hoping that he can make his impact felt. Fisayo Dele Bashiru, new signing for Lazio. Of course, we know the quality that he has. Lazio is also a team that is trying to get back on track, trying to get back to their usual standards, and we're hoping that Fisayo Dele Bashiru can be a solution for that. Victor Osimhen, Napoli, we know what Victor Osimhen does, we know what he brings. Unfortunately, it looks like he's, for sure going to leave Napoli, even though there's still so many issues with his transfer. But for now, he's on the list. And then Maduka Okoye and Isaac Success. Okoye, of course, established himself as the first choice goalkeeper for Udinese last season. Has declared his intention to return to the Super Eagles. So this could be a season for him to really show us that he's back to his best, and is even improving. And maybe he can just be a key player for his club and also for the country. Isaac Success is also there, but with all due respect to Isaac Success, I don't think anybody's excited to watch him play that much. He's probably going to be on the bench for a lot of the games, but he's a good player. He'll get a few goals in the season, and yeah, that's pretty much it. So Smith, like, who are you most excited to watch in the Italian Serie A this season?
No, I know. We know what to get from Lukman. We know that Lukman is probably their best player. But for me, I'm going to pick Samuel Chukwueze because this is like under a different manager now, and there's now a lot of hype. Like we said last time, man of the match against Real Madrid. He did well against Man City. So good precision, but I think the one that Pulisic came. I think Pulisic. So when I saw Pulisic scoring again, the rest. I feel like he just finished Copa America now. Rest more, make we enjoy this. So, but I think I'm excited about Samuel Chukwueze. I think that he might be playing a different role for AC Milan this year. So I think that he's a player I actually really want to watch. I want to see. I'll be watching AC Milan game now regularly as far as Chukwueze is going to be playing. So I think Samuel Chukwueze is a player I'm watching. I know that I'm tempted to pick Lebashiru, but it's just that between Lebashiru and Samuel Chukwueze, I think I'm just going for. I know what to expect from Maduga Goye and
Mm.
Lookman. So, and I'm not picking Victor Osimhen because it's just a matter of time. So
Yeah.
that's the reason why I'm going for Samuel Chukwueze.
Mm. I think I would also agree with you, and I'll go with Samuel Chukwueze. Chukwueze is a player that has so much talent. He still has so much talent. He
Mm-hmm.
has so much potential. You know, like you mentioned on the previous episode where we spoke about his preseason form. What he has just lacked for a long time is that consistency. Is that
Mm-hmm.
ability to do it every week or to do it 8 out of 10 weeks. Give us 8 out of 10 quality performances, and we'll know that he's a true proper player. He hasn't been able to show it yet, but like you said, a new manager, a new system, a new season. Maybe this is just everything that Chukwueze needs to be able to shine and to be able to establish himself in the AC Milan team, establish himself in Italian Serie A. So I'm really interested in seeing what he brings to the table. Lookman, we know what we're going to get from him. Okoye, we know what we're going to get from him. Osima is pretty much out the door. Dele Bashir is another exciting one. But I think I have more hope for AC Milan than I do for Lazio. So that's why Chukwueze is just more exciting for me um, than the than Lazio. But Smith, like, of all these teams, of all these players, who are you expecting to have the best season in the Serie A?
I think it's Atlanta. Atlanta, they did very well last year. They won the Europa League. They finished in the top three, a bit top four again,
Mm,
last year, under Gasparini. So I expect Atlanta to actually to compete for the title this year. They're also doing very well in the transfer market. Though some big clubs too, they're trying to pick their best players too. But they're also trying to see solutions and how to actually get players too. And don't forget that there's no AFCON this year, so Lukman will not leave them. So Bookman might probably have a potential full season with them. So Antique Atlanta, we should be able to compete for the Serie A this year. And also, I know Skamaka is out. I think he's got ACL injury. Skamaka. So
yeah.
that is a big blow for Atlanta. But I think that I still expect them to do well under
Mm,
Gasparini. Him,
mm.
the master tactician.
Okay, I think for me, I'll go with AC Milan. I think AC Milan are a team that always competes for the Serie A title. And they are going to be there about again. Of course, last season they finished second behind their rivals Inter. So I think with a new coach, with a newfound confidence, with a newfound belief, maybe this year could be the year. I know that one AC Milan fan is probably watching this live now saying that yes, they're going to compete. So for once, I'm going to side with you and say I have expectations for AC Milan. I don't think they will do anything in Europe. Don't get me wrong, nothing in
Mhm.
Europe. But I think within Italy, they of course have a chance to potentially win the title. Atalanta have a chance as well, but I just think AC Milan will edge them out. Maybe AC Milan finishes second, Atalanta finishes third or fourth, just like last season. Juve, I don't really have too high hopes for them, so I don't think Juve will be winning the league. So I think he opens the door for other teams. Atalanta, I just have this fear of Atalanta maybe not being able to match the heights of last season. They're always thereabouts. They're always a team that finishes fifth, finishes fourth, finishes third. But I don't know with with the more games that are going to be playing this season, tougher games that are going to be playing in the Champions League, playing as the defending Europa champions. A lot of people that were not so aware of their quality last season now know the quality that they have. With people like Lukman, I just think it wouldn't be so easy for them. So I would say AC Milan for me probably the team that is going to have the best season. Let me just take the comments very very quickly. Um, Somebody said don't count Osimhen because Osimhen is probably already through the door. It's just a matter of time. Chinwoke says really expecting Chukwueze to do well. Balogun says Lukman at Atalanta. Temilade says Lazio and Dele Bashiru. Temi says Fisayo is the most exciting time to see him in a big boys league. And yeah, let me see. Donna Shine says Chukwueze is in Rafael Leao's category, but he doesn't know that, at least not yet. Abdul Jalil says I'm 100% sure Chukwueze will perform very well this season, but Lukman will also have a good season, even far better than last season. Okay, okay. Let's move on very quickly. Let us move on because of time. We have two more leagues to cover. The German Bundesliga. This is the top five league that has the fewest Nigerian players. By my count, we have three Nigerian players that are going to be featuring in the Bundesliga. this season. We have Victor Boniface and Nathan Teller of Bayer Leverkusen, of course, defending champions. And we have Kevin Akpoguma of TSG Hoffenheim. Akpoguma, of course, relatively forgotten player when it comes to the Super Eagles, but still one of the key pieces in the cog of TSG Hoffenheim. Hoffenheim, of course, finished seventh last season, and they're going to play in the Europa League, whereas Leverkusen are going to play in the Champions League as the Bundesliga champions. Smith Layi, who are you most excited to see this season?
I think I will say Nathan Taylor. I realized that he's been getting some game time during preseason. Don't forget last time he didn't really have preseason with Bayern Leverkusen, so now he's getting more opportunity with them. So I think I want to see what he will be able to do. Now it seems part of the Alonso plan. I want to see exactly what he will be able to do for Bayern Leverkusen this season. I think we only have three players to choose from. Apologies to Amaka's boyfriend. I'm going to go for Tella. I think Tella is the player I'm looking. I want to see what he's going to do.
I think for me, I'll go with Victor Boniface.
Mm,
While I like Nantella and I want to see how it does, but Boniface, last season he was having a fantastic year, rookie of season, rookie of the season, and then unfortunately he suffers that injury before the Afcon, and he
mhm,
wasn't able to come back until towards the end of the season. When he
mhm,
came towards the end of the season, he was essentially a bench player because the
mhm.
team had figured out a solution without him, and
Yeah.
Alonso did not just want to change things all of a sudden because they were on their title charge and on their unbeaten charge.
Mhm,
So I'm really looking forward to seeing what Boniface can do. Hopefully, he has an injury-free year. Can work his way back into becoming a starter for Bayer Leverkusen. And it's very different when you go from being the hunter to being the hunted. It's a
mhm,
different feeling. The
mhm.
pressure is going to be mounted on them a lot more. Bayern are, of course, wanting to reclaim their crown, even though Bayern is not a very serious team right now. But of course, they will want to reclaim their crown. So I want to see what kind of output Victor Boniface can have. Can he have 20 goals, 10 assists? Let's see. Of course, we
Mhm.
know that some teams are already interested in him, but he decided to stay put. He decided to stay with Leverkusen, continue to work on their project. Has a fantastic coach that believes in him. So for me, I'm really looking forward to seeing Victor Boniface in this new season. And of course, in terms of which team we expect to do well, I think we expect Leverkusen to be better than Hoffenheim. Hoffenheim are a good team, but I don't really see them competing for the title. So I'm going to go with Leverkusen on that one. I'm assuming you agree with me, Smith. Like,
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I don't think we'll be watching a lot of Hoffenheim games. I think it's going to be Bayer Leverkusen. I nearly watched all their games last year. I think I watched like 90% of their games last year. So I think it's Hoffenheim. So we might be having another player joining Hoffenheim, very soon. But we'll see how it turns out this week.
yeah, we'll see how it turns out. Okay, and then final league to preview. And if you would like to come on and share your thoughts, we will give about 10 minutes for people to come on.
Yeah.
So I'll post the link now. So just get ready. Make sure you have a camera. Make sure you're well dressed. There's decent lighting so we can see your face. And then we'll give about 10 minutes just for people to come on. Everybody will have about 1-2 minutes to speak. Unfortunately, we don't have that much time. But yeah, final league, the English Premier League. By my count, we have 10 Nigerian players in the English Premier League this season. The number might reduce, the number might increase before the window closes, but as of now, we have 10 players. We have Frank Onyeka and Benjamin Frederick in Brentford. We have Alex Iwobi and Calvin Bassey in Fulham. We have Wilfred Ndidi in Leicester City. We have Awoni Taiwo, we have Ola Eno, we have Emmanuel Dennis at Nottingham Forest, and then we have Joe Aribo and Paul Onwachu in Southampton. So this one, of course, we already spoke about Onyeka potentially moving away from Brentford, but we have a new player that is coming into the mix. Benjamin Frederick was on the bench for them in a couple games last season, has played for them in a number of preseason matches, and he's an option for them in their first team this new season. Alex Iwobi,
Sorry, sorry.
Calvin.
I see. Sorry, somebody was trying to correct you that you didn't mention Felix Agu. Despite him coming out as he's a Nigerian, you want to play for Nigeria, you want to play for Super Eagles. Say you never considered him as as part of the.
Okay, maybe when he does his passport, I'll
He's got a
I'll,
passport
I'll
already.
okay. Is he registered as a Nigerian player now?
No, it's not a Nigerian player.
When he registers as a Nigerian player, I'll pay more attention to him. But for now, I'll keep a side eye on him. But yes,
Okay.
Premier League. So we have Alex Iwobi, Calvin Bassey, Fulham. We kind of know what we're going to get out of them out of Fulham.
Mhm.
Bassey will probably be hoping for a better season. Iwobi will also be hoping for a better season, even though he was one of Fulham's chief creators last year. Ndidi, of course, decided to stay with Leicester City back in the Premier League. We would like to see how Ndidi can compete at this highest level. Awoni, I know Dennis probably is going to be on the move before the transfer window closes. But Nottingham Forest, of course, expect them to be a team that is fighting relegation again, again this season. But we're hoping that our Nigerian players can stand out for them. And then Joe Aribo, Paul Onuachu with Southampton. Onuachu as well might be on the move before the transfer window closes. Aribo, of course, has become a decent player for Southampton. So I would expect Aribo to stay. And let's see what he can do. So Smith, like, who are you most excited to watch in the English Premier League this season?
For me, I want to see what Taiwo will do again. Don't forget
Mm,
that it was like a roller coaster. I won't say roller coaster season last year. Up and down. It was in was it, they lost their manager. It was sacked. It wasn't getting a lot of playing time. But don't forget that it was a player that scored like 7 goals in 7 games. Towards the end of 2 seasons ago. So I think that I want to see exactly what he will do. Fantastic. We want to see how he will fit into the Forest team. I would have loved to pick Benjamin Fredericks too now, but unfortunately we don't know. Maybe he's gonna go on loan or he's gonna stay with them. So I think looking at how I want to look at exactly what he will be able to do this year. Because when he scored 7 goals in 7 games, that was close to being, if he can continue like that, that would have been African Player of the Year for But unfortunately, things didn't actually work out well due to injury. So I want to see exactly what he will be able to do now because this season is like to prove himself very well.
mm, mm. For me, I can't choose one. I'm going to choose three players. I'm going to choose
Okay,
three
then you
players.
just give me a chance to choose Salah too.
Okay,
Okay.
okay, okay. Go on, go on.
So another player that I actually I would like to actually see is Wilfred Ndidi, again. Because don't forget that he left for the championship, he did well in the championship. Now we want to see maybe he's a Premier League world player. We want to see maybe he's still in touch with the top level game. We want to see exactly what he's going to actually do. So the last player I'm going to talk about, I think I'm going to actually finally pick Benjamin Fredericks. It's a player that I saw him play in preseason, decent player. I know that he will not be starting, but he can be playing those cup games. Coming on, making the match day squad, traveling and everything. He's a player that I think that we need to watch out for in the Super Eagles. I think in 3 years' time, it might play a very important role for Nigeria. So I want to see exactly how you can, it's going to break record for a player to move from an amateur club in Nigeria, indirectly, some of an academy to the Premier League. That's gonna be a success for even Nigerian game.
All right, all right. You picked some of the players I wanted to pick, but for me, my three players that I want to see, first one is going to be Benjamin Frederick. Of course, we still have to see whether he goes on loan or whether he stays with the first team. But assuming he stays with the first team, I would really be interested in seeing how he's able to perform at the Premier League level. Most difficult league in the world, in my own opinion. So it's a big step up for him. Will he be able to keep up? Will he be able to perform? It's going to be very interesting to see how that goes. He's a player with a lot of potential, a player that a lot of people believe in, a quality young defender, and let us see how that pans out for him. My second player is Wilfred Ndidi. For the same reasons that you mentioned, Ndidi, of course, was a mainstay, key player, one of the captains of the Super Eagles team, and then of course, kind of got injured a little bit and then went out of form. Went to the championship with Leicester last year and had a good season playing under Enzo Maresca. Unfortunately, Maresca has moved on to bigger and better things. And Ndidi will be hoping that in the Premier League he can show himself to be this kind of level, this kind of quality player again. Remember that when Ndidi was first in the Premier League before,
Mhm.
his name was entering the conversations with some of the best defensive midfielders in the world.
Yeah,
So now that he's supposed to be at his peak, now that he's back playing in the Premier League, Can he get himself into those conversations again? That's what I'm really looking forward to seeing. I hope he can. I hope it goes well for him. But I think indeed he's somebody that I'm going to be paying attention to see how things pan out for him. And then my third player to watch is Joe Aribo. Joe Aribo, as we all know, made this move to Southampton and things did not quite go according to plan for him. But over the course of the last season, playing in the championship with Southampton, Aribo ended up establishing himself as one of their quality key players. Good performance after good performance after good performance. Even when he doesn't score, when he doesn't assist, he still makes his impact felt on the field. Had a decent preseason for them as well, and I'm looking forward to seeing how he can do in the English Premier League. If he does well in the English Premier League, of course, it will stake a big claim for him in the Super Eagles as well. To give him another opportunity to show himself with the Nigerian national team. So I'm really interested in seeing how things go for him over there. Nobody in Forest is that exciting. Awoni, I love Awoni, but I kind of know what I'm going to get from Nottingham Forest. Awoni will probably score between 10 to 15 goals. Forest to struggle with relegation, and that's pretty much going to be it. Iwobi and Calvin Bassey would have decent seasons. Fulham will be a mid-table team. That's pretty much it. So yeah, Frederick Indidi and Joe Aribo. For me, those are the three players that I'm really, really looking forward to seeing in the Premier League this season. So as of today that we're recording this, August 13th, 2024, we have 34 Nigerian players in the top five leagues in Europe. And of course, like people called out already, I'm not necessarily considering some of the ones that are Nigerian but haven't fully, changed their allegiance, or maybe they haven't really changed their passport. They're not registered as Nigerians, so there are even more here and there. But the ones that we're 100% sure of, there are 34 of them, 34 Nigerian players. Again, like I said, I don't know how it was in previous seasons, but I'm happy that we have at least up to 30, players that are in the top five leagues this season. We want to see our Nigerian players competing at the highest level of football. And of course, if the players that we have at these levels are able to do well, are able to impress, it would even open up more doors for other young players, for other players to make their ways into these different top five leagues. The number might reduce before the window closes, the number might increase before the window closes, depending on what happens in the transfer market. But I think it's definitely good times, definitely exciting times for Nigerian football. And of course, let us hope that the success that our players are having at club level can be translated into international success when they play for the Super Eagles of Nigeria.